Not sure if they hate us for our freedom or because we cripple their economies, steal their resources, arm and fund violent coups, and support puppet dictators. Armed and brainwashed. The US FDA just licensed Dengue-Vaxia, the dengue vaccine that is under criminal investigation for killing 600 Filipino children within 20 months before it was banned. It's almost like they plan on releasing these vaccines to kill us, isn't it? You know, it's almost like it's some sort of depopulation plan. Just a reminder, 15 of the 19 9/11 hijackers were Saudi Arabian. Donald Trump is siding with the country which attacked us. Let that sink in. Society nowadays. No doctor has ever healed anyone of anything in the history of the world. The human immune system heals, and that's the only thing that heals. Bob Wright, American Anti-Cancer Institute founder, in episode 2 of The Quest for the Cures, continues. Highway and the Cameron connection. Yesterday, in advance of US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's visit to London, Bruce Newsom wrote of America's consternation at Britain's ignoring its warning about allowing Huawei access to UK cyber infrastructure. Today he looks back at the history of Huawei's links with the UK and its encouragement by British politicians and officialdom. The Huawei scandal has been a long time coming. Huawei started selling software to British telecommunication companies in 2000. It has been supplying hardware since 2003. Within years, the US went public with warning about Huawei's links with Chinese espionage. So Tony Blair is the first prime minister to blame for the not controlling the risks. Here's the irony. In May 2010, David Cameron entered number 10 after criticising Tony Blair's highly personal, centralised and opaque decision-making. Cameron established a National Security Council, NSC, and a National Security Advisor, but the NSC brought more of the government's decision-making into secret forum that is dominated by the Prime Minister and his favoured appointees. Here's the second irony. While Cameron criticised Blair unmeritoriously, appointments and the incumbency of Blair's appointees, the NSC displays plenty of incumbency from 2010 to 2019. Cameron's most favoured appointee was Theresa May, who served as Home Secretary throughout his premiership. When she succeeded as PM, May prompted a favourite from her time at Home Secretary to become National Security Advisor, Mark Sedwell. Thence, the appointed him simultaneously Cabinet Secretary and the head of the Civil Service. It's all bullshit. Masked men try to abduct screaming schoolgirls in broad daylight. Police launched a manhunt after masked men tried to snatch 2 screaming schoolgirls in broad daylight. The girls had been making their way home from school along Station Road at Cox Green on Friday, May 3rd, when the terrifying incident took place. 2 men approached the girls in the street and tried to drag them away, police said. They screamed for help, and fortunately a passerby came to their aid. Officers are now trawling CCTV and desperately trying to trace the men. This is the breaking news story. We will be updating it. Breaking news, the latest on football. Amsterdam court refuses to hand over drug smuggler because Walton jail is inhumane.
Dutch judges have refused to send a suspended drug smuggler back to Liverpool because they believe the conditions at Walton jail are so bad it would be inhumane. The British authorities have applied for the fugitive to be extradited following his capture after almost 2 years on the run over alleged narcotics trafficking. Yet, because of his links to Liverpool, judges in the Netherlands fear he could end up being held in Walton, where they say there is a real risk of inhumane and degrading treatment. Concerns over the state of Hornbeek Road complex were raised during the hearing at the Court of Amsterdam on Wednesday. Even the Europeans see how inhumane our government are. Tory Health Minister deliberately blocks law to give NHS cheap drugs when patent expires. A Conservative wanker health minister has deliberately blocked a new law to provide cheap and effective drugs for the NHS by championing medicines whose patents have expired. Alistair Burt spoke for nearly half an hour to Filebuster and proposed off-patent drug bill, a plan that had cross-party support from backbenchers. Because the proposed law is not supported by the government, it only has a limited amount of time to be debated in Parliament, or it has to be shelved. Mr. Burt deliberately used up the bill's time by speaking at length for 27 minutes, despite heckles and jeers from Labour, SNP and Conservative benches. That wanker will have shares in the company. That's why he doesn't want it to go out cheap. That's the sort of corruption we've got in Parliament. That's just the tip of the iceberg, as we all know. MPs plan to build themselves a palace. Have they lost contact with reality? Parliament's proposed temporary accommodation is costly, unnecessary and shows contempt for the public opinion. For you are an MP starting glumly at the latest election results and wondering how to restore public respect. What's the first your idea? Incredibly, it is to dream up a political new debating chamber vaguely costed at some $500 million in the heart of Westminster Village. It will be lavishly furnished with sports facilities and guarded with a security pavilion inside an armed encampment. The project will be temporary. That's how don't give a shit about anything these wankers are. Dying man told he's fit for work and has benefits slashed in half. A dying man, given just 2 years to live by doctors, has been deemed fit to work and had his benefits slashed. Daryl Nicholson has a chronic lung condition called stage 3 emphysema, leaving him short of breath. Daily tasks such as getting dressed and walking are a struggle, but the government have halved his benefit, leaving him with just £15 a week for food. Let that sink in. These bastards in Parliament have left him with £15 a week for food, where the likes of Ian Duncunt Smith, he'd spend 45 quid on a breakfast and claimed he could live on benefits. This is utter disgusting. This is attempted murder. That's what this is. Mr. Nicholson, 47, of Kenton, Newcastle upon Tyne, also has bronchitis, asthma, anxiety and depression and is now too ill to work. We're allowing them to kill the poor. Grandmother throws out all her pills and says cannabis is the key. Ever sat and wondered what the secret to long and healthy life is? Well, wonder no more, because one grandmother reckons that she has the answer: cannabis. Yes, Carol Francie, 70, said she had been smoking weed for 5 decades and feels as fit as a fiddle. There you go. You need them more. Cannabis is the cure and the answer to all our problems. Oh, once we get rid of government, that is. Cameras caught Theresa May being called pathetic and insane by EU Brexit negotiators. Some of the EU's top Brexit negotiators have been caught on camera ridiculing Theresa May as she attempted to take Britain out of Europe in a stark new BBC documentary. The Prime Minister is branded pathetic and insane by staff workers in the office of the EU Chief Brexit Coordinator Guy Verhofstadt in Storyville Brexit behind closed doors. Following talks between Britain and the EU, the firm shows European Parliament workers laughing at May and the UK. At one point, Verhofstadt's Chief of Staff, Gulliver Macmillan, responded to news of Brexit deal has been cleared with the DUP, says, "What the F is going on with her? That's insane. I don't know. I haven't spoken to her." She's not just that. She's committing high treason. High treason. Tory funding crisis party struggling to pay rent for head office. Bullshit. Donations dry up and as unrest grows over Brexit and May's leadership. Leading donor and city financier switches support to Farage. Party officials say big hitters are holding back much needed funds. Everyone should be funding themselves, none of this bullshit. Study happiness at university. Pupils are mentally fragile. It's all bollocks. The Times. Private woe over rise of state pupils at Oxbridge. Parents fear social engineering, says leading head. Jamie Murray growing up and with Andy. Who will win? Football? Nothing in that paper. Express revealed true story of Durrell's great escape. My hell wed to Meghan's father. Outrageous rape victims warned they face prosecution. The whole world's upside down at the moment. When Bridget became Judy Garland. Telegraph. MPs claim expenses for adult children. Yeah, you heard that right. Politicians top up home allowance under rule originally intended for younger families, but the corrupt bastards are stealing anything they can. Philip Green must love his neighbourhood, says Portas. Another waste of paper. The Guardian. One-off gene therapy injection could dramatically cut risk of heart attacks. Eating good organic food can do it as well. UK has 30% chance of staying in EU, says Tusk. They don't want us out. They're not going to allow us out, and it's all treason by the lot of the bastards. Dr. Foster to burnout and back. The scum. 2 free tickets to Thorpe Park. Free and Archie's. Oh, God. Exclusive. Farage Bargy. Brexit hit. Nige legs it after his driver has crashed. Mate, I'll need 6 months. You need the rest of your life in jail. That's what you need, you treasonous bitch. Mirror. Meghan's dad must never be allowed to be part of Archie's life. Oh, craps. Star. Fallen star. Freddie died alone, broke and hated by neighbours. Lie test boss. Let me find truth on Maddie. Yeah, test the McCanns. Stand by your Dan. Baker back as furore at BBC grows. FT. Uber shares open at less than an IPO price. CEO blames fall on border sell-off. Weak debut hits market valuation. Rihanna makes history with luxury brand of LVMH, whatever that is. Leading Tory backer switches support and donates 200,000 to Brexit party. Absolute waste of time. Don't spend any money on them because they are utterly useless and a waste of money. See you tomorrow.